Another thing, so I saw a couple posts on Facebook that kind of sparked this idea for me. I never really talked about this on the show. So I thought it'd be interesting to give you some toast tips, right? Some toast tips. Not this is a dad joke. I mean like toast, like wedding toast. I mean, if I was going to give you a toast tip, though, was going to give you a toast tip. Have you guys ever tried, like, you get toast and you put butter and then put peanut butter? Like, before the peanut butter, put regular butter first and then the peanut butter on top? Chef's kisses. Unbelievable. Try that out. But for actual toast, this is a DJ show. There's some things that I think you guys should do every time. Maybe you already do them, okay? But, I want to go over them real quick. Maybe there's a nugget in here that could help you out, okay? Little things I learned along the way. Some things I actually learned in the last couple of years that I never did for the first 10 years of my career that kind of like changed my game a little. So I thought it might help, okay? Number one, always give the photo and video peeps a 2-minute warning. You never want, they got to get pictures of it. They got to get video of it for sure. The video people definitely need at least 2 minutes. So, make sure you always warn them before you do anything, but of course toast, but anything in general, give them a warning, let them know. I would say probably their biggest pet peeve with us is when we don't warn them about something. And then they're like, we catch them slipping, they're like grabbing a drink or something. They're just hanging out or whatever. Maybe they're going through the pics they already took or whatever they're doing, and then all of a sudden they hear us, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to proceed with the toast. And then like they have to jump up and run over and get ready and set up. What if they have to set up their flashes or their, whatever. It's a pain in the ass for them. Always give them the heads up. Make sure they're ready before you start. And of course, none of them are going to see me saying this. They never see me saying good things about them. All right. It's only the bad shit. All right. It's only when I talk about my pet peeves with them, that's when they come out and say, oh, watched your channel today and saw you were saying this, right? They never. Anyway, make sure you warn them. It's very important. Do you guys use burner music? Walk-up music. I call it burner music. I think I got the term from John Kahn, who used to work for Jason Jan, a good buddy of mine. I think he made it up. Burner songs, like, just songs to fill dead air. I never did this. This is something I never did for a long time until I started working for SE, and then they did it, and I was like, wow, this makes perfect sense. Why haven't I been doing this like my whole life, right? When you're doing toasts and speeches, you always want to fill the dead space. And I mean, think about it. Even if you look at like the Oscars or something like that, like when they call someone up to make a speech, when they get done their speech, they always play them off or have music playing in the dead air parts. It's not like dead silence. It's not like, let's hear it for the best man, Frank. And then it's just literally crickets as he's walking up, right? Like you want to have some filler music. I take it a step further, right? So, I think you need to like match the music to the crowd and to who's speaking. So you want to have like, I organize my filler music based on like the vibe, So like this is how I organize it. So I basically have yuppie, dope, funky, and throwback. That's my different kinds of burners. These are all instrumentals, okay? So all instrumental. You don't want any words. You don't want, you might want to announce it in between, stuff like that. Words are more distracting. To me, like background music should be instrumental. Like when you're just filling space like this, I think instrumental is definitely the best way. I put a link in the bio. If you're watching this live, it's not up yet. I got to finalize it, but I am releasing my my crates for all my burner songs. So all my favorite instrumental burners broken down into categories is going to be dropped. It's going to drop later today. Today I'm recording this, but so if you watch this in a highlight, the link will be there. If you're watching this live, it's not there yet, but it's coming, people. So if you want to see what's in my crates, that's coming. But regardless, I highly recommend organizing it this way or whatever way makes sense for you. I mean, for me, yuppie, if I'm in a really fancy place, if it's a black tie affair, right? Black tie affair. They're all wearing tuxes and shit, if it's like a super, then I play that type of stuff. Like something like, right? Like, that type of shit. It's funny to me, but it also fills the void better, right? Dope is just cool beats, like hip hop beats, stuff like that. Funky is literally funk. There's a lot of great funk instrumentals that I use that are cool. Even like Good Times, instrumental, dum dum dum, ba-dum ba-dum bum bum. Or is that Good Times or Sugar Hill Gang? We're going one of the, you know what I mean? Like those cool little bass lines. That would be in like my funky folder. And then throwbacks are like different, like a lot of 80s movies full of throwbacks and shit like that, like 70s type stuff, like just random like pop culture references, you know, like in instrumental music form. To explain, I can't think of like one example right now. I suck. Wait, hold on. I actually have my laptop right here. I'll show you an example right now. Of course, I didn't have Serato up. See, and this is when I would need burner music, people. Can't be having dead air. I'm like the worst DJ ever right now. This is when we'd be playing the burner music. All right. So my throwbacks, like here's some. So St. Elmo's Fire. Remember that shit from the 8? Look it up if you don't know. St. Elmo's Fire. Green Onions. That's by Booker T. But like that's like from Sandlot. That the Booker T. That dude was like, that dude used to crush on the organ back in like the 60s, right? A Summer Place by Percy Faith, or you know what I mean, shit like that. Like that's like throwbacks to me. So I have it organized that way. That way I can match, you know, the crowd. I can match the speaker, you know, with the right walk-up songs, the right, like, songs after they're done and whatnot. Fill that space. I think it just makes it 10 times more professional. Highly recommend you do it in general. I always use a mic stand as well. And I think this is very important. This is something I started doing maybe 2-3 years ago. Mic stands are great. You can't always use it. Sometimes a photographer won't like it, and I get it, okay? Some photographers are going to be like, listen, can you not use the stand because the stand's ugly as shit? I don't want it in my photo. All right, I get it. If they say that, no problem. I go and use it every time, right? If they ask me not to use it because they don't want it in their photos, no problem. I just end up not using it, and I go back to regular, and I just hand the mic off, right? But if they don't say nothing, I always shoot for it regardless. Use a mic stand. It is super clutch. And a second mic too, like always a second mic. So like I have my own mic. I can have that one on the stand ready to go, so I don't have to hand it off, nothing. It's super easy. I literally just announce the toast and then I point, right? Announce and point. All right, right up there, blah, blah. They go up, they talk on the mic. Nice and easy. It benefits us in 2 different ways, and then it benefits the videography people too, you know, and the photography people, because like, number one, if it's on a stand, they're not going to move. You know, they're going to kind of stay, unless they take it off the stand and they're walking around. They're one of those, you know, if they got like ADHD or some shit, then like you're not going to help that. But generally speaking, if it's on a stand, people will go up and just talk into the mic, and that's it. So they're going to stay in one place. That's easier for photo. That's easier for video, right? On my side of things, they're not going to drop my shit. If it's on a mic, I feel like the chances of them dropping the mic now after their toast is greatly, greatly reduced by a whole lot. You know, oh God, you deserve the Omicron variant. If you fucking take the microphone off the stand and literally just to drop it, you know, like if you just go out of your way to take it off the stand to do a mic drop at the end of your toast, I hate you. Okay, I hate you and your whole family. I hate everything about you. You were the worst kind of person. I would be so mad, but it hasn't happened yet. You know, generally people only drop mics if they're like holding it in their hand and they feel compelled, like they crushed their toast or whatever, right? So it prevents that sort of thing, and it is easier. You don't want to hand it off. It's right up there. Highly, highly recommend. And then another general rule too. I was watching Wedding Singer yesterday, and if you've ever seen Wedding Singer, you know, Steve Buscemi plays this drunk dude who's like the brother, best man, and he does a terrible toast, and he starts talking about, you know, him being in the shadow of his big brother, blah, 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 right? I've experienced this before. I've had literally similar toast. I'm sure you have as well if you've been doing this a long time, right? Every once in a while, you know, you got a toast happening, and all of a sudden they decide to go off a dirt road, right? They go right off the dirt road. They start talking about some crazy shit, right? Whatever it may be, but you'll know. My number one rule with this, I've said this in the past, is to check with the couple before you make any moves. Don't assume. Don't ever assume that everything's okay, unless it's like egregious. But I've never had a toast so bad where I had to cut them off that second, right? So like that's never happened to me. I'm assuming if it's really, really bad, you know, like if he's talking about like, you know, like in The Wedding Singer, he talks about, but my brother's not always perfect. He said, you know, remember that one time in Mexico, we picked up those, I don't think they were prostitutes, but like, and he started talking about shit like that. Like then I would cut the guy off. But, if he starts going off a dirt road, right, and it's just getting awkward in there, don't make the executive decision. You check with the couple first. Either if you can get to them somehow on the side and be like, hey, are you okay? Like I always just say, are you okay? Or if you can catch their eyes from across the room, and just like lip, are you okay? Like, are you okay? That's just what I literally what I ask. Are you okay? Like, are you okay? And just look in their souls, and they'll tell you. Everyone's different, so they'll tell you in different ways depending on what kind of person they are, I guess, or whatever. But like they'll tell you, they'll be like this. They'll give you a cut off. They'll be like, you know what I mean? They'll tell you, or they'll tell you if they're okay. If they say they're not okay, you cut the people off, right? You do what you got to do. If they say they're okay, you keep them going. You let them walk off the ledge. That's it, and just get your popcorn ready and enjoy the show. And then that's how to do it. Trust me. The worst thing you could do is cut off a toast too soon because you thought they said something that offended everybody. And maybe you're right. Maybe you're 100% right. Some people got offended. But like at the end of the day, if the couple didn't want them to get cut off early, you just cut off the toast at their wedding. They can't redo that. Every wedding is the Super Bowl. This is one and done. These are mistakes that you can't fucking make. Okay? You can't make because let's redo it. No, there's no redos. You can't. You gotta get it right the first time. So don't take any chances with this. Check with the couple before you pull any plugs on the toasts.